Good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us for today's episode. A very special episode indeed. We have with us Kelly, who is the author of In a Multiverse of Infinite Possibilities, We Must Be Happy Somewhere. Really interesting book. I'd say a whole new take on the concepts of love and self-discovery. It's a captivating collection of poems that follows a couple's journey across the globe, exploring the mysteries and ecstasies of love. Through their adventures, they confront loss, heartbreak, and disappointment, but also embrace passion, hope, and the drive for change. Despite these challenges, at the end of the day, they find that love endures through infinite timelines in the multiverse of endless possibilities. Kelly, welcome so much. We're so glad to have you with us today.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I have to admit, I was not familiar with the term multiverse, and perhaps our listeners are not as well. Could you explore that concept a little bit? Help us understand what is the multiverse, and what did you have in mind when you were talking about it in your book?
Okay, so I think a lot of people have different definitions of the multiverse, but I'm going to tell you how I understand it. I was fascinated with the idea that there are millions of me's and millions of you's, or infinite numbers of me's and you's. And if space is infinite, so are the possibilities of our different timelines. And we create these timelines through small choices, through choices that we make. Something simple as in the movie Sliding Doors, they followed two timelines. One where she caught the train, one where she missed the train. And it was fascinating. Like, it really opened up my eyes to like, whoa. And I always picture the multiverse as many different color threads that are just out in space. And they're all different timelines of different possibilities where we may have made a different choice. And it's also, And I also think that, before we come to Earth, we make soul contracts. We're here to fulfill a mission. And we come to Earth under the veil of amnesia, right? We're forced to forget a lot of the things we already know. But we do have free will. And so some outcomes are predetermined as lessons that we need to learn this lifetime. But how we reach those is up to us, or if indeed we ever do reach it. And if we make a lot of wrong decisions, we're not going to get to the complete the mission that we were hoping to. And then there's the idea that time is not linear, right? It doesn't move in past, present, and future. It's like on top of each other. It's the past, the present, and the future all happening at the same time.
And it just depends on which choice we make. It sounds like it. And that's interesting that you mentioned that there is free will. But based on that free will, different choices can lead to any number of possible circumstances.
Yes, that's how I see it.
Intriguing indeed. And you talk about the amnesia and being forced to forget. Does that imply like reincarnation or having lived before the current life?
Yes, I believe we've all been here. Well, maybe not all of us, but many of us have been here multiple times, and not always on Earth. But we're here now to try and help the Earth to raise its frequency.
Interesting. You talk about the notion of happiness. It seems central to the narrative. How would you define happiness within the multiverse framework?
Well, the whole idea is that we all have to go on a journey, right? We all have to find we all have to work on ourselves. And I think a lot of times our idea of happiness is through another person or through traveling to a new place, because everything is fresh and wonderful. But you really have to go inwards and you have to work on yourself. And that's the only way you're going to find unconditional love and happiness. Like in this book, the idea of happiness was that right now we're really struggling as a planet, not just as individuals. Our 3D Earth at the moment is kind of through division, fear, anger, control, and hate, right? And we would like to raise the frequency so that we are at the 5D Earth, which is where there's going to be love and unity, peace and freedom and consciousness. So in the book, the idea that we must be happy somewhere is that things are not working out right now. It's easy to be in despair. It's easy to say, oh my gosh. But when you open your eyes and you're awakening to everything that there is, that many of us didn't know existed until we awakened, until we remembered that seed was ignited, the divine spark, right? We can look at the different timelines and say, on a different timeline, I'm sure we've done things better. We've done things right. And that's kind of what I was going for.
Interesting. Very interesting. And I know these days a lot of people would feel that perhaps the world with global warming and politics and wars, a lot of people do feel like, we're not living in the best world it could be. And perhaps could there be something better? So very interesting. Can you talk, Kelly, about the writing process? Did you have the multiverse in mind to begin with, or did it kind of grow organically as you wrote?
Well, I think, in my real life, I had met this man whose mission was to go to places where there's a lot of religious unrest and feuding amongst different religions, and also how many wars have been fought in the name of religion, right? So I was very fascinated with everything he was doing, because I was at the refugee camps. And if we could find a way to negotiate peace before we had to have refugees, then we would be really making some progress. So that was the initial idea. And then the idea that it is our choices, and that's where the multiverse came in. But I never have things mapped out. I know a lot of writers, they sit and they're like, we're going to do this, and then I'm going to go here. I like to follow the characters. I learned with them as the writer.
Love it.
So yeah, I just thought if I could concentrate on two characters that were like me and this other man I had met, and show the readers like how these decisions worked and didn't work, that it would be helpful to other people who are going through similar situations.
Absolutely. Was it more difficult writing about the character like yourself, or the character like this man that you met?
I think probably his character, the in this case, it was a masculine energy, right? It could have been reversed, but in this case, this character was the voice of reason. He was logical. He wanted answers when you'd have to just kind of take a step forward without definitive answers. And so I like the duality of the two characters, but he was like, I wanted people to like him still, even though he wasn't as open as the female character, I guess.
Gotcha. Very interesting. And I love how you talked about learning from your characters as you go. Very intriguing.
Yes. That's what I love about writing. Like, if I had it all mapped out, I don't think it would be as enjoyable.
Very true. Very true. You think about an instruction manual or a book of nonfiction, a process or a coaching philosophy. It's kind of like, here's step 1, and we'll read through and we'll get to step 20, and
Yes.
it's all kind of wrapped up and it's known, and it's interesting and instructional. But that's the beauty of fiction, I think, is letting your mind get lost in that book and absorb what the characters are saying to you, and then what you say to yourself as a result of making the read.
Yes, I agree with you, John. Definitely.
Interesting. How do you, Kelly, balance the more abstract philosophical themes of the multiverse with the emotions and the characters as personal as people?
Well, I kind of explained a bit before, like, one character is awakening to all that is possible, and she is seeing the past lives, she's seeing the future lives, she's seeing visions of different realities, and I think that she is the one that's, many readers will be like, what? I'm not sure what she's doing, right? She's a little bit out there. And he's the one that kind of brings the questioning. He's the one that's like, he isn't convinced that it's not all in her imagination. So the duality of the dreamer and the skeptic. And I think that keeps the philosophy of the multiverse grounded to the emotional and personal struggles that they're having on a human level. Yeah.
Which, of course, is something that the reader can relate to directly as a personal struggle, and these characters as real people.
Yes. That's my hope. Yeah.
Great. And I think people would be interested to know, will the characters come back? Will there be a sequel, even a series of books?
There's definitely going to be another book. I'm working on that right now.
Super.
The main title will stay the same, in a multiverse of infinite possibilities, and then the subtitle will change for each volume. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say there's going to be 4 or 5, but I have enough ideas that I could write 4 or 5.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm also working on a novel. So yeah, these two characters, I think you will see them again. That is my plan, because some people are a little like, wait, I don't know about the end. It ends with more questions than answers. So that's all I can say.
Wonderful. And I have a feeling that maybe the characters will let you know when it's time for a new book or a new edition, and or maybe when you get to number 5 or number 15, whatever the number is, maybe those characters that speak to you will say, hey, this is enough at this point.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I just put this one out into the universe to see if there was interest. And so far, I'm really happy that people are like writing to me and asking me questions, and they seem really open to all the ideas and wanting more information. So, and the couple, of course, they want them to get back together, always. But you got to work on yourself first.
That's right. That's right. You can't love another if you don't love yourself, as they say.
Right. What is this saying? Like, empathy without boundaries is self-destruction, right? I mean, you need to work on yourself. Yep.
Absolutely. Would that be one of the main messages or one of the main insights you would hope people take from the book, Kelly?
Yes. Yes, definitely that you can't find yourself in someone else. You can't find yourself in a new place. But also very much that, like, I think it was Nelson Mandela that said, like, if you can learn to hate, oh no, if they can learn to hate, they can also be taught to love. I'm paraphrasing, yeah.
Hmm.
And this, I think, is my major lesson is that we can raise the frequency. I was involved in this meditation that took place all around the world, and we raised the Schumann resonance during the time of this meditation, because it was all energy that we were feeding right into the heartbeat of the earth. And so that's, for the skeptics, that we actually, when we were united, when we act as one, we can do amazing things. And that's what I would really love for them to go away with, that we need to work on things, but we can do it.
And we all need each other, for sure.
Yes, the
For sure.
oneness, the unity, yes.
Wonderful. Are there any connections to organized religion or any similarities or parallels to religion with regard to the metaverse?
I don't know, like, my opinion is that we're all connected to source. And I don't believe in so much in organized religion, or that you have to follow one specific god, or the different definition of, or different name that they give to different gods. I believe in source, and that we're all part of a divine source, and that we all carry the spark of this within us. And when we connect and we unite through oneness, we're going to see a brand new earth, a brand new way of being. And you're going to feel like this unconditional love. And when you feel that, that is what you want for everyone.
Intriguing. You might say that the answer is in our own hands if we only look down and recognize that.
Yes, that is true.
Wonderful. Any other thoughts, Kelly, that you want to share with our listeners today about the book, or about your next book, or any other thoughts about the whole concept of the multiverse?
No, I think we covered a lot. If anyone would like to contact me, can I give an email or something?
Absolutely. How can people get a hold of you?
I just started a webpage that's called kellysbooknook.com, and I'm going to have the different books and different ideas around the books on there, discussing books like you do. And also, I'm going to be at the LA Festival of Books, signing books, if anyone is in that area and would like to talk, to meet and talk. I would love that.
Terrific. When is that festival?
April 26th and 27th at the University of Southern California.
Okay, perfect. So just near downtown LA.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. And I'm assuming, Kelly, that if folks are interested, I know the book is on Amazon. I'm assuming that anywhere people go for audiobooks or written books, your book will be available.
Yes, it's on Barnes & Noble and Amazon, and I think you can order anywhere where books are sold. I am making an audiobook very soon, so that will also be available.
Wonderful. Well, this whole concept of the multiverse is really intriguing, and you have definitely piqued my interest for sure, Kelly. So I'm going to be picking up a copy and looking forward to learning about these characters and the journey that they make. And interestingly enough, it sounds like even though they journey across the earth or through the multiverse, maybe what they're looking for is within themselves all the time. So kind of an interesting concept.
Yes. Yeah, I'm glad that you like it, John. That's great. I'm hoping that people will enjoy this. Yeah.
Kelly, thank you so much for being with us today. We've been speaking with Kelly, who's the author of In a Multiverse of Infinite Possibilities, We Must Be Happy Somewhere. And a really intriguing new book, and I encourage you to pick up a copy and leave a review so Kelly can hear your thoughts and about this most interesting idea, concept. Thanks so much, Kelly.
Thank you so much. It was so nice to be here.
You've been listening to the BrightWord Books Podcast, home of the literary community that celebrates creativity, inclusivity, and the transformative power of literature. Don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss future episodes. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged.